This is Running on Empty episode review. Today we are reviewing the secret level episode Warhammer 40k.
Yay!
And they shall know no fear. And this episode is based off of the video game Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2. What a mouthful. So this episode follows Titus, the main character from the video game, following the events of the video game. And all I gotta say is, wow, what an episode. This episode kicks ass. You want action, this episode gives it to you.
You want suspense? You got it.
And damn right you get it. This episode does such a good job at showcasing the brutality and the combat expertise of the Space Marines, man. Like they just mow through these guys. And then at the end of it, right, the suspense part we're talking about, they come across this crazy abstract being, and it's done wonderfully, right? It makes you I was on the edge of my seat, honestly. I can't glaze it enough.
100%, I completely agree. I'm actually very excited to talk about this. I'm a huge Warhammer fan. It's like in my blood. And I think this short, I mean, I call it short, right? Because it's still pretty short. But regardless, I thought it was pretty amazing. I love the combat, just like Sergio was saying. Combat is brutal. You see how these Space Marines don't give a fuck. They'll destroy absolutely everything that comes in their way. And that's just, like the testosterone that this franchise gives. I really enjoy it. The art was amazing. It was very dark, very gloomy. When they go down the chasm and then it kind of like warps reality, they all stand up and they're all carrying like this abstract case with the psyker, because they already knew that there was like some abstract being, some entity from the warp, and how he just shows up and starts destroying the Space Marines. I don't know, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was great. It was a little bit scary too. I mean, if you really get down to it, it is a little bit of a cliche that it kills you with your thoughts. But because the episode is so short, I can forgive it. I love how they glaze Titus, and it's kind of starting to feel like he's the main character of this universe, which I really like too. And I hope they expand more on it, whether it's on Space Marine 3 or maybe a show based on whatever the hell happens, right? Maybe they're investigating more relics of Shanesh or whatever's happening, but I really love it. But enough glazing. The episode already has enough Titus glazing. But yeah, I mean, really excited to talk about this episode. It's great.
I myself, I'm not a major fan of Warhammer. I appreciate it in coming, but my first major introduction to the series actually was Space Marine 2. So seeing this was a little more familiar with me, right? Because at least I know Titus. And honestly, this episode showed me how little I know about the universe. It's so expansive, so much more stuff I didn't even know was out there. I'm very intrigued by like this crazy abstract being, and all this other stuff is not just physical. It seems like, I don't know, it deals with some like magic or metaphysical stuff that I thought is very interesting. But I will say my biggest gripe was, surprise, surprise, the length of this episode. It's not as long as some of the other episodes. This one's only like 10 minutes, supposed to like 16 minutes, which still kind of leaves you a little blue balled, wanting more. But yeah, I guess that's the nature of these things. But man, just please, Amazon, please just make a full-on series of this. Please, following Titus. Maybe starring Henry Cavill, or I don't know, even just the voice actor if we do live action.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. I just hope they do more Warhammer stuff. I mean, it's great. As we kind of talked about it in the Dungeons and Dragon review, where animation just has so much, output out there that you can do whatever you want with animation. I feel like the same thing goes with Warhammer. I mean, you don't need live action for this type of storytelling. You can just make a really good CGI series out there.
Honestly, yeah, and just make something easily accessible, right? Because Warhammer, it's a little more niche, right? It's a lot of books, a lot of lore, a lot of certain things here and there, and it's so scattered, right? There's so many different contributions that I think if you have something like this, something more high profile, something a little more focused, something more digestible, a more casual fan like me that might be a little intimidated into getting into such an expansive lore, I think it's something to ease more casual fans like me more into the series and get us more interested in it.
Right, and I feel like that's a really big issue with the setting itself. I mean, especially talking just about this episode, like what the fuck do you even understand happened, right? Like,
Yeah, no, exactly. Honestly, all I know is Titus came, he kicked ass, then he encountered something I have no idea about. I'm interested about it, but I could not tell you what anything was or why they were there in the first place, honestly.
right, exactly. And I feel like that's the main issue that I have with these episodes because they're so short. There's even fan-made movies that are longer than this. There's a fan-made movie, right? Called Astartes. Check it out if you haven't. I believe it's like 30 minutes long if you put them all together, the 9 episodes, which is way longer than this single episode, and it's almost as good too with the animation, and one person made it. This episode had a whole group of people do it, and they could only do 10 minutes. I mean, come on, Amazon. I know you have way more money than.
Amazon being greedy, bro, you're crazy. But anyway, seriously, yeah, Amazon fund something like this because I mean, like he mentioned, people do this out of passion. You know, just one person made all that crazy out of passion. Just hire people that are passionate about the project. You know, maybe don't hire someone who doesn't like Thor, read a Thor comic, write and direct a movie.
Oh man, don't even get me started with that fucking movie. Love and Thunder, worst Marvel movie ever made.
All right, enough talking about that garbage. Back onto the review. So the game the episode is based on is actually a banger game, full of testosterone, really fun, really fast paced too. The only breaks in between the action are just to maybe tell a little bit of story or just to pick up ammo, then just back to kicking ass. It's really fun game, really straight to the point. Not like the most stellar thing ever, but the story's fun and interesting. The gameplay is really great. Graphics look amazing. The presentation is phenomenal too. The environments and the vistas in this game are they're next level, man. It reminds me of something like Armored Core, honestly, with just how stunning the visuals were.
Yeah, for sure. I really like the game that it's based off too. I think this game is starting to get a lot of new Warhammer fans. I mean, it even got me. I didn't know anything about Warhammer before this. All I knew about Warhammer before Space Marine 2 was that it was a extremely dangerous universe, and it was always placed in forums of, can this universe survive Warhammer? That's what I know of about it.
Yeah, that's another thing too. Warhammer fans are extremely annoying when it comes to, oh, but can they do this? Can they defeat their space three? Can they do that? Bro, shut up, bro. They're mid as hell, bro. When you go into real power scaling, the Space Marines aren't don't even scratch the top dogs of the game, honestly.
Yeah,
I,
but they're cool as fuck, man.
yeah, they're cool, but I'm just, yeah. Fight me in the comments too. I dare any you neckbeards to fight me in the comments about the Warhammer universe being the most. Shut up.
Awkward.
But yeah, I mean, I really like the game. I'm still playing it to this day. I love the PvP, the PvE, and the story. You know, I really love it. I love the hordes. I love that they focused on the Tyranids and the Sons of a Thousand Suns. I thought that was pretty awesome too. Some supernatural with some bioweapons, some body horror. Man, I just kind of really want to go home and play some Space Marine 2, man.
It's a really great game. Some of the best horde mechanics we've seen in AAA games. Days Gone being one of them.
But that's the thing. It's not even AAA. It's like AA. Which it comes to show the work that Warhammer fans put on their projects.
There's no denying the passion Warhammer fans have for that IP. With that being said, final ratings. I give this Warhammer episode, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10, honestly.
Wow.
Whoa, I know. As much, even though I went on my rant and all that stuff, I just think that as an outsider looking in, I'm just fascinated by everything, intrigued. I have more questions. It makes me want to learn more about the universe. Now, will I be bothered enough to try to read thousands of pages of lore and all that stuff and books and stuff? I don't know about that.
Bro, it gets good after book 250 on page 300, bro.
Nah, you're right, bro. I just gotta endure that.
No, yeah, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm such a big Warhammer fan. I want to give it a 10 out of 10 too, but I have to give it an 8 just because of the way that it ended too. I don't really like the short episode. For the Astartes, even though it ended in a cliffhanger, you know, the fan made one, that one I give a 10 out of 10 just because it explains a little bit more of how it got there, right? And it gives you like that inclination of wanting to be like, oh shit, because you know it kind of ended. You know, it ended with him going to another dimension. With this one, it's just kind of like, you know, a classic. Titus grabs his sword and just fucking goes running to fight, but you don't see the fight, and that's what I don't like. But yeah, I mean, either an 8 or a 9 out of 10. 8.5. That's my final rating.
8.5 final rating. And it's common, just like the last review of Dungeons and Dragons. I don't really discount the short nature of it. I understand, right? I'm sure if the people behind this, if they had more time, more budget, I'm sure they would have gone all out with this. But I think it's just a sign that Amazon Prime should fund a full-on Warhammer series. Maybe with the same people, creative team behind this episode. I don't know. They really cooked with this one. Maybe get, some of the fans on board too, right? Like the people that made Warhammer what it is, get them on board to help out.
There's been rumors saying that Henry Cavill, he's such a big Warhammer fan as well. But there's been lots of rumors saying that he wants to start in the IP. You know, as an actor, live action, or even animated. I would love to see that. The fact that they kind of don't use Henry Cavill in a lot of things, they kind of like short.
They give him the short end of the stick a lot.
Right. Right, and I feel, and it shows, because I mean, what else can you want? You want an actor that he would probably accept less money just to start on the IP.
It's Henry Cavill's one of those guys where he wanted to leave The Witcher because he just didn't like the direction it was going in, because he's such a fan of the lore and the books that, oh, this isn't Witcher. Like, that's how much of a freaking Chad he is, man. Like, he'll leave something because it's not true to the actual series, man. Nah, he's my hero, my Superman. I don't care. I don't care how good this new guy is. Henry Cavill will always be my Superman.
Yeah, I mean, I love Henry Cavill as well, and I love Man of Steel and the Zack Snyder films. But that would be a review for another day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough yapping. We'll end it there. Bye, guys.
Fuck you.